Welcome everybody to Thursday Spiritual Matters at the Daily Huddle. I'm your host, Dr. Monikah Ogando. Today, the topic is the magic of your habits, which sounds like an oxymoron, I understand. Habits don't feel very magical. They feel kind of boring and rote, I understand. But if you can see, as Octavia Butler, our amazing science fiction superstar in the Daily Huddle streets. Her quote says, first, forget inspiration. Habit is more dependable. Habit will sustain you whether you are inspired or not. So let's talk about the magic of habits today. Welcome to the Daily Huddle.
I love that. Forget inspiration. Habits is where you stand. That's my kind of language.
Good morning, all of you in Daily Huddle land. I'm so excited to be here with you today. I know that we are approaching the summer solstice, which is supposed to be the longest and the hottest day of the year, but I'm a little forradita today. I'm a little covered up because it feels a little chilly, and I don't know what's going on in these Atlanta streets. I'm based out of Atlanta, as are Gio and Sorrel, but it feels a little chilly, and we're just gonna keep ourselves warm. As our habits do. And so before we start talking about our topic for today, I want to get us centered and grounded in this now moment. So I'm going to start with my second favorite person today. Okay, Gio. Oh no, he went off screen. In protest. Gio, where are you and what are you thankful for?
I need to ground myself for this. I need to ground myself.
No, he said grounded. I feel dissed.
I need to ground myself. I am here.
Mm-hmm.
I am here. And what's the other one?
And what are you thankful for?
I am thankful to be your second favorite person today.
Oh, that's just hilarious. That's called a pattern interrupt, people. That's what that is. in the manner of conversation. Okay, let's go to my first favorite person then, since we are all wondering. Stan.
Yes, doctor.
Who are you hugging today, and what time is it?
The time is now, Doc, the only time that there ever is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to hug my mommy today because I'm meeting up with her and we got a little trip we got to make. So,
oh, yeah. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish my son talked about me the way you talk about your mother.
Oh, he does.
Beautiful. And Chase tied for first today.
Tied for first. I love
it. Let's see. How are you?
I am inspired today.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like it because we started off with the habit. I mean, the quote for today says, "Forget inspiration."
That's right.
Yes. And you said, nah. See, I'm starting there. That's what I'm declaring today. So the reason I picked that quote, first, forget inspiration, habit is more dependable. Habit will sustain you whether you are inspired or not, by our beloved Octavia Butler, the author of the renowned Kindred, the novel Kindred. Is everyone tied for first? Gio. Listen, we're going to get our specialness one way or the other, okay? So the reason why I chose that quote is because habits get a bad rap. You know, they're like the less the less popular, maybe not as well-dressed brother in the family of achievements. You know what I mean? And so I wanted to talk about the magic of habits, because what I have discovered as I have gotten older, and I want to check in my theory with you. I want to test it out, my hypotheses, to see if you agree or whether you have another nuance to add to the conversation. One of the things that I've discovered as I have gotten older and as I've just grown up and evolved is that whereas when I was younger, I relied a lot on adrenaline and inspiration and a flash in the pan and this and the third. What I've discovered is that actually I'm far smarter. I'm far more inspired in a sustainable way when I handle the fundamentals on a steady, disciplined, habitual basis. And then that's kind of like the Aristotle quote that says, excellence is not an act, it is a practice. So when you talk about excellence being a practice, it implies habitual behavior, right? And one of the things that I have also come to the conclusion of, have you ever heard people like in the new year, they're like, oh, you know, new year, new you, and I'm going to start this new routine, and I just need to get more discipline. Whether it's, you know, they're going to write daily, they're going to work out daily, they're going to do something on a regular basis, and they say they need to get more discipline, right? What I've discovered, and you tell me what you think about this, is that we don't need more discipline. You have all the discipline you're going to need for this lifetime. You have all the patience you're going to need for this lifetime. You have all the creativity that you are going to need for this lifetime. You came with all your tools, manufacturer installed. What changes, what evolves over time, what you iterate is your access to it, your dependability on it. So all you are ever doing is managing your orientation. Maybe if you consider yourself someone that is not a routine person, like you don't like routine, you like everyday changes, every day is different, your discipline and your habitual practice is geared more towards variety. You're very disciplined about variety. If you're the kind of person that's like, well, I need something steady, I need to be able to rely on this, I need to know what's coming, etc., then you are somebody who uses your habitual discipline and the magic of your habits towards certainty, right? And when we can recognize what we have been habitual about, then you can change that orientation if you so choose, because choices come from awareness. So I wanted to bring this to my Daily Huddle family because I wanted to talk through this. I'm not saying that I have the capital T cosmic truth on it. I wanted to discuss it and see what you thought and what your relationship was with your habits. What have you been in the habit of? And if you don't know how to answer the question, check your results. Your results will tell you what you've been in the habit of. And what you feel most comfortable and familiar with will also tell you what you've been in the habit of. Right? I'm going to give you an example. And I think this is a practice that I came to later in life. For as long as I can remember, I have been more awake at night than in the morning. But in this culture, the early bird gets the worm, early risers to the race, you know? And so the early rising, the morning people have been very celebrated in this culture. And I felt very guilty about it. I was like, dang, why can't I get it together? Why can't I wake up at 5 o'clock? The 5 a.m. club, you know, like Robin Sharma says and all this other stuff. I'm more likely to go to sleep at 5 a.m. than I am to wake up at 5 a.m. And I discovered that people have different internal clocks. And I was fighting this thing that is very natural for me. It was very natural for me to kind of like ease into the day and then ramp up. And by the time that my husband calls it a second wind, but to me, it's not a second wind. It's just the momentum of my energy peaks in the evening time. And then right around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, okay, it's time to lay it down. So that's been my habit. But it's only been in the last maybe 15 years, I don't know, 10 years, that I have made peace with the fact that I am a night owl. I am not a morning person. And I'm going to, instead of trying to manage my time to fit a particular formula, I'm going to manage my energy so that I can maximize my outputs, so that I can maximize my impact and my contribution to the world in a way that fits my energy footprint, as it were, right?
Wow.
And so that's why I say to people that I'm not available for public consumption in the mornings. It's not because I'm sleeping somewhere. It's because I'm doing internal stuff. The morning is for internal stuff. It's for my meditation, for my exercise, for the things that I do just with myself. And then I'm available for public consumption after that, after I take care of that. And so I wanted to check in with you. What are you in the habit of doing? What have you come to understand about yourself and your energy imprint? And how have you leveraged that in a habitual basis? Let's talk about it. I want to know. Ooh, Cece's here. Hi, Cece.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I love this topic. I manage a whole lot better early in the morning. I make myself get up and I take time for myself. Somebody can't, I actually schedule people out after I've taken care of my own personal needs. I used to not do that. I used to just get up and start going and doing.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing for CC what makes her peaceful. I take that time for that spiritual meditation. I exercise. I prepare my meals. I read spiritual materials, and I pray. And I don't let anyone take it from me, emergencies or nothing. I'm choosing the best time, which is early for me, because at night I get sleepy, so I take it in. When my body starts telling me it's time to go to bed, I don't get a Red Bull. I drive myself back to the house and go to sleep.
That's right.
And I don't let nobody keep me up later. I say goodbye. It's time for me to go tonight, y'all. And that's it. And I'll see them the next day. The Lord God let me wake up. So I'm less worried than I used to be. And I don't try to consume or do everything all in one day like I used to.
Right.
I'm just pacing myself. I'm managing the energy a whole lot better. I'm not so exhausted like I used to be. So I'm grateful that I control the time that God blessed me with. It's only 24 hours. So thank you, and I pass.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. There's this fanaticism about getting as much as possible into the 24-hour day and burning the midnight oil at both ends and, you know, maximizing productivity, et cetera. And I'm only concerned with productivity and maximizing the use of something when I have objectified it. And in many ways, we have objectified our human life and our human energy in that way. Like, let's get to the most of it. Let's life hacks. And, you know, if you wake up at this time and you do these morning practices, then you'll have this kind of day, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that the energy imprint of nature, of whatever solar or lunar or diurnal cycle that we're in particular for women, if they're in their cycle, I mean, you're always on your cycle, but depending on what phase it is in your cycle, that if we honor those, then it's kind of like you're swimming with the wave instead of against it. And then you can be more productive in that way, even if it means laying down, or even if it means resting, or even if it means being more in a receptive energy than in an activating energy. Who else has something? Chase, did you have? Oh, Gio, yay.
I really like the quote, particularly in the manner in which it was said or written, to get inspiration. You know, your habits is where your life is, right?
Mhm.
I love the wave crashing of inspiration. I love that, how it crashes inspiration. I love that. And having said that, one of the things that I struggle a lot in my life is that it is clear the power of habits. And for beyond my reasoning, other than my understanding of my brain, but beyond my reasoning, I can't quite create a structural habit day routine that I know in the world of knowing, that I know it would create a phenomenal life. For some reason, I'm used by inspiration. I'm used by my feelings, how I feel right now. Like I can't quite be a structured human being. Like, this is what I do from this time. This is what I do from this time. This is how I take care of myself.
Yeah.
This is what so I don't necessarily know if I have a question, but I would love for you to fix me forever. And you know what I mean? And just do
Absolutely.
what I know to do that would positively impact my life. But somehow without diminishing myself, without disempowering myself, somehow inspiration, feelings, emotions, how I feel runs my life a lot still.
Well, that's the rudder, right? That's the rudder, that it's like when some folks get pulled externally, right? By their checklists or by their habits or by circumstances or by people and other external obligations. And then there's some that have an internal compass. For some, it may be their feelings, right? Like what you're saying, right? And for others, it may just be like, I have a particular vision and my feelings fuel my vision, and which I think is your case too. If I were to make up anything about you, I would say that. And I think that it's not something that needs to be fixed. Just like morning people aren't better than night owls. People that are internally driven are not better or worse than people who are externally driven. That's not a character flaw. That's just your unique energetic imprint. And the question isn't, how do I fix this? The question is, how do I leverage it? You know, how do I use it so that I feel supported by it instead of like I'm fighting against my own brain? So that's,
yeah, you know how cool it would be for me to just get up, go to the gym, meditate, do a smoothie. I mean, you know, like all these structural habits that I know, they're so freaking cool for me.
yeah.
I can't quite, I get myself connected and I disconnect, connected and disconnect, connected and disconnect. And that's how my life has been. Anyway, I know there's other hands up, so thank you.
Yes, but I'll leave you with this. I'll say this about that because you're probably not the only person that I've had to grapple with that too. And I'm gonna say this, that when I start a habit and I don't continue it because I'm feeling like, oh, I just need the variety more so than the regular day-to-day stuff. What I have had to confront, or what I've had to ask myself is, okay, I'm about to get like a really adult conversation here. Are you ready? Okay. So when a man and a woman are in an intimate moment and the man is inside of the woman, there comes a point with that friction that it becomes so pleasurable that you just go off in another world. For somebody, it might be both of you at the same time. We don't know. But for somebody, that becomes so pleasurable that you go off to another world, right?
This is really an adult conversation.
Yes. So, but I'm trying to be respectful. And so, but what happens sometimes is that somebody says, I don't want that pleasure yet. Let me stop. Right? And we do that with habits. It's like there comes a point where it's like you get closer and closer to your mastery or to your excellence or to a particular result. And you're like, wait a minute, let me stop. And then you become inconsistent with your habits. And so my question would be, what's the excellence out there? What's the mastery out there? What's on the other side of being consistent with this habit that feels pleasurable that you don't want? And that might be a rhetorical question right now, but maybe a journaling topic. Yeah.
I love that question.
Chase, you got something?
Wow, this is a big topic for me, and you triggered me because you talked about Robin Sharma, who's one of my top 5 people that I listen to just about every other day.
Oh,
I was involved in the 5 a.m. club, and I did it for a while. It was tricky for me as an artist because I was coming home really late
mhm.
and then getting up at 5 a.m. And it was not,
Oh, wow.
it didn't make any sense.
Right.
So, which to my point, I'm about to say, I have a few books that are near my bedside, and one of them is this one.
Oh, Atomic
Habits, right? So in the Atomic Habits, it talks about the 2-minute decision or 2-minute rule. In short, I find that habits become stronger when you set it up for you to hit your target ahead of time.
Yeah.
So if you say, oh, I'm going to run a mile every day. Well, if you run a mile, it's actually 2 miles because you're running 1 mile and you're coming back. I mean, you're running 1 mile and you're coming back. So you're going 2 miles. That's built in. It's fun. It happens. It's not a strain. However, things like, I'm going to meditate for a half hour a day. Well, if you meditate for half hour a day, if you do it for 10 minutes, it's still very effective. So I find that with my habits, they work better when I'm victorious already in the beginning. Like, if you can't meditate for 15 minutes a day, I think Russell Simmons said this, if you can't meditate for 15 minutes a day, then you should be meditating for an hour a day.
Oh,
he said that. And I was like, wow, I thought about that. And I was like, track your day. If you could put a camera on you, track your entire day from the moment your eyes wake up to the moment you go to sleep.
Yeah.
If you see how many minutes we waste in a day on stupid crap that we could be enhancing ourselves. So I zeroed in on that. And I've had days where I've tracked everything I did. It was no longer difficult to do the habits I wanted to do because you expose your own self. So that's what I recommend to people. Watch your day and see where you have the open pockets. And the things that are enhancing me, I run quickly. I run more. I run faster to them. The ones that work every time. Don't push yourself over the edge and go, man, I didn't run the 15 miles today.
Right.
It's like, that's not, you know what I mean? So that's my advice. Make the what do you call them? You could call them KPIs or whatever. Make them attainable from the beginning. You can do this and then form the habit, because the habit grows after the initial muscles are set into space. Then you're like, oh, and you go up. Like, don't try to win the race in the first 20 seconds.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
And read this book, Atomic Habits. It'll open your whole mind up.
Yeah, I love it. And I agree with you that we have the time that we need for what we need. And then it just becomes a matter of, like you said, I mean, what gets measured gets improved. I love it.
That was the statement I was going to make. Yes, exactly.
Yes. Rashida, you have something?
Hey, good morning, my family daily huddle. I'm so happy to share in space with you all guys. It's amazing that you touched that topic today. How you started. It's one of those things that I didn't even know that I am so have that habit over and over. And my kids is who let me know. He said, "Mommy, you're not going to change. Same time in the morning, same time at night. What is it?" I say, "It's just one of those things." And mind you, if my mom was with me 2 years ago, same habit. 5 o'clock in the morning, I said, "Mom, can you stay in your bed?" He said, "Why you didn't stay in yours?" But it's something that, but I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I would wake up, I would sit at my yoga mat, I would do my meditation, I would say my prayers. But it's the beauty of the habit that I have created. And it helped me a lot all through my life, because I remember in 2019, we went to China. 15 of us, we went to all the way in the mountain of Guangzhou, China, to retreat. we went and studied. We have 2 ladies that we have to go and bang on their door to get them out of their bed. Oh, the time change and the time. I said, no, your mindset. Trust me, if you put your mind to it, you eventually at the 3rd day, they were like bombing on our door. We started telling them, you got to make your mindset is a habit. You in China, you do what the Chinese them do. If you go to Rome, you do what the Rome them do. But it's all about the habit. And my brother Chase, thank you so much. That Atomic Habit is a book to really read and work with it, because it's really take you from zero, from point A to point Z in your life. Just one of those books that every one of us should read. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the topic.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Stan, what you got, sir?
Well, real quick, just to just confirm what you said in the very beginning of this session today. From The One Thing by Gary Keller. That's what we're reading now on our platform in the morning. We just completed reading Atomic Habits. That's what we do, by the way, guys who don't know that. On our platform in the morning, we read these books from start to the very finish, discuss them as we read them so we can determine how to reach our goals.
Okay. So
we just completed Atomic Habits, and now we are reading The One Thing by Gary Keller. Page 54. There is a pervasive idea that a successful person is a disciplined person who leads a disciplined life. It's a lie. The truth is, we don't need any more discipline than we already have.
Didn't I just say that?
That's why I'm reading this. To confirm, this is from the book, The One Thing. We just need to direct and manage it a little better. We don't need any more discipline. There's no such thing as a disciplined person. Not really, that's a lie. Contrary, and the name of this chapter is A Disciplined Life, and it's under the section, The Lies About Success.
Okay.
Contrary to what most people believe, success is not a marathon of disciplined action. Achievement doesn't require you to be a full-time disciplined person. Your every action is where your every action is trained and where control is the solution to every situation. Success is actually a short-term race, a sprint, fueled by a discipline that is just long enough for it to kick in and become
like an ignition key. I love it. Look, who's the author of that book?
You need to read it. It's amazing. We've been reading it now for the past 34 days. We read a book from start to the finish. Every morning at 8 o'clock. That's what we do. And the name of this book is The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay
Gary Keller. Okay, Gary, you need to put some air quotes when you repeat my words.
Oh, there's a lot more to that section about what discipline being alive. But that's it right there. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, everyone. That's great. And that's a great place. That's a great place to end our discussion for today, because the magic of your habits is in your execution. It is in your energetic imprint. You've been designed in a particular way that is not an obstacle, that is part of your toolbox. It is part of your sauce. It's part of your magic. And so when you understand and get clear and leverage the ways in which you have been wonderfully made, whether you're a morning person or a night owl, whether you're a feelings-driven person or a circumstance-driven person, whether you're a book person or an intuition person, it doesn't matter. Neither one is not better than the other. It just takes you getting to know what that is and leveraging it so that you can orient all of that in the direction of your dreams, of your vision, of your goals, so that you can then have the life and the impact that you want. And that's all we want here in the Daily Huddle, is to empower you to make those honest, authentic choices so that you can have the life that you desire. Thank you so much for being here. Remember to love generously, laugh obnoxiously. That's my personal instruction. Nobody else in the Daily Huddle says that. I say, laugh obnoxiously, give of your energy, time, attention, make sure that you eat plant-based, sleep at least 7 hours, stress less, move your body, and of course, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Always audit your assumptions. We love you. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you, Laura.
Thank
you all.
you. We
Sorry about my
appreciate you.
sound
You're the
profile.
best.
Sorry about the sound profile. I know
Awesome.
my sound is distorted, Chase.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. But we got you.
Anne, are you in Georgia?
One love, guys. One love.
One love.